So it's a Dark from Ducks Underground, and we're here to have a bit of a look at the user interface for the PlayStation. So I've just turned the machine on right now, and we're loading up from a cold boot. So yeah, hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect if you, even when you get your PlayStation 5. So initially this is where you'll start off with, so I've set the profiles up for myself and my partner. From here, initially you can log in as either online, you can now appear as busy as well as offline. So at this time, I'm just going to leave that as is. So the one thing I've noticed straight away with this, it's a lot faster with the SSD, definitely. It is a huge difference. So this is the main menu that you have. From here you can go to your media tab from your controller and press your R1. So you can go to choose Netflix and the likes, or just straight into your games. So the latest games will show at the top here initially. And one thing you'll eventually notice is when you go over the names, for example, Borderlands 3, this is currently the PlayStation 5 version. Same for Valhalla, Astro's Playroom, Fortnite. But when we get to Elder Scrolls, it'll actually show you there that this is actually a PS4 title. Next to where it says Elder Scrolls Tamriel Online, it says PS4. Tetris Effect, same thing. So it'll actually tell you which version of game you're running if you've got a PlayStation 4, and the little icon afterwards will also show you if it's on an extended hard drive, which I do have connected. So from there too, you can also, say for example, if you're on Borderlands, all you need to do if you want to play, for example, PlayStation 4 version, so if you want to save room on your hard drive and just want to play the PS4 version, you can press the options button on your controller and choose your game version. So I've currently haven't got the PS4 version installed, so it's going to ask me to download that here, for example. So yeah, there we go. So that's a little bit of that. So I'll go back to the 5. So a couple of things there that have changed a bit is the press and hold of the PlayStation button, which used to give up your quick menu to the left hand side. When you do that, it'll actually bring up this menu here, as opposed to a single press, and it'll actually bring out your cards. So from here you can see there's groups, stories from your favorite games, so like that for example, and any recent media that you may have recorded. And from there you can go to your media library and have a bit of a look-see. So nice and easy. So I'll just press the PlayStation button once again. And then down the bottom is more like your classic crossbar menu from PlayStation 4. So from here you can also press options, and you can actually add or take away features that you may or may not use. So for example, if you don't broadcast, you can just turn that off and it won't show up at the bottom there. Also things like, for example, if there's any downloads of patches, so at the moment I can't click on that because I do not have any in progress. If you have multiple networks for some reason in your home, or you want to switch to a mobile phone, for example, you can quickly switch that way as well. VR I haven't been able to test yet. I'm still waiting for my adapter cables to come from Sony. If you do have a PlayStation VR, so things to be aware of, that you do need to have a camera from the PlayStation 4, as well as obviously the PlayStation VR itself, and access to the cable adapter. All you have to do is go on the Sony website, enter the serial number of the module box, and then from there they'll send you one out for free. So I've currently got one being sent. So also things like here you can change your volume inputs. Typically it'll be automatic, so if you put a headset on, for example, it'll go straight through there. Also things like your controller setup, so you can turn it off and just use like a media remote if you have one, which I do, which isn't too bad. It's a nice little device, makes it life easier if you just want to watch videos, YouTube, Disney Plus and the likes. Also you can change the settings in here, so this is really handy for if you want to have various effects on the triggers. So for example, when you pull the trigger for a weapon, for example, you'll get a bit of resistance initially when you pull the trigger, and then it will press. One thing I have noticed with this is if you tend to play games, say for example like Borderlands, where you do a lot of click shooting, you might find that your fingers get a bit sore after a while, so you may want to turn that down or off. Also, if you're using the microphone that comes built into the controller nowadays, now as well, that will automatically change the intensity to weak on that, so that way people aren't hearing the button clicks as heavily on your controller while you're talking. So we'll go out of there and we'll have a look further in there, down the bottom. So from there as well, once again, you can look at your trophies, for example, on here, switch users, look at your own profile, and go from that. So other things that changed is on the crossbar here as well. PlayStation Store now is actually built into the system. So as opposed to PS4, it was actually an app, so it's more tend to crashing, for example. And on here you can go through and see what's coming soon or featured, that and the likes. Any games that you may have, it may give you suggestions for any DLCs or microtransactions and the likes as well. You can look at your library for games as well that are currently available, for example on the PS5. So there's a couple there already, and you can sort these via price, so you can go by filter, if it's for a VR, that kind of thing. So also when you get the PlayStation now as well, PS5, you are actually entitled to the PS Plus collection. So that's this here, and it'll actually give you 20 games that you can actually play straight away that have hits from PlayStation 4, completely free of charge with PlayStation Plus. So if each game's worth about $30 odd, that's about $600 worth of games. So that's pretty awesome as well. Also available at the moment too is Bugsnax as well. So if you own a PS5, that is available until January 4th. If you're unable to get the game by that time, maybe you want to speak to a friend that may have one, and they may be generous enough to log you into the system and tag that game for you. So, and of course the PS4 games which are available at the moment is Middle-earth: Shadow of War and Hollow Knight. So that's the store. But load times definitely is a major improvement, and graphic fidelity for PlayStation 5 games is huge as well. So even for things like Fortnite here, other things you can do, so it's telling you here's an add-on you can get now. So the new Powerhouse Pack, progression trophies in the game as well. So because I own Save the World, I do get trophies on that. And you can jump straight into a game if you want as well. So for example, I'll jump in. So big things that have changed in some games, for example, like Fortnite, is campfires, for example, definitely a lot more dynamic. They look a lot better. Things like when you have items on the ground, they actually cast a shadow of the item of the rarity. Or healing potions will have a light blue around them, for example, as opposed to a little black dot underneath it. Also there's cloud as well when you first jump off the battle bus. So these are just all little things that you can come to expect with the PlayStation 5 at the moment. So the longest thing it's taken to load here at the moment is the fact that I'm actually logging into the servers as opposed to the actual speed of the connection. Playing with people on PlayStation 4 with this, one thing I found is I'm tending to load into the game straight away and be sitting on the starting island or the cruiser at the moment, and by the time I'm in, I'm still waiting for my friends to actually load into the map. So I'll have a quick peek and see if I can show you a couple of things here. I'll actually go into just the battle labs. Okay, that should be good enough. And we'll see if we can have a look at some of these things that I've been talking about here on graphics. I'm not too sure if it shows up in Battle Lab, but we'll find out. So first thing we're going to do here is straight away you can see it's a lot clearer, so you can see the island a lot better now. Things like the storm, for example, you'll actually see that coming into a lot more clearer. I might be able to show a couple of photos actually I took earlier on this through my media library. I want to take photos, for example, just pressing the create button on that there. So just press that, it shows that I've taken a photo. And press the PlayStation button. Go up into my cards. Look at the latest screenshot. And there we go. There it is immediately. And I can share that to a group that I've created. I can do some editing on the photo if I wish, and the likes, and I'm still in game. And so you can see there the fires are just a lot more vibrant. 3D audio is also quite nice on this as well with the correct headphones. So I've used that a fair bit as well. So, but just very, very clear in its appearance. It's very, very tidy. So I'll see if I can find some rare items or the likes quickly, and then we'll have a look at something else. So for example, when I was with Borderlands with a friend earlier, we did a bit of testing, jumping between zones. So here we go, that's a good example. So green weapon, green shadows. So as opposed to a black shadow underneath it, so you can see exactly what you're looking for. So I'll take this into a dark spot downstairs again. So you can see now blue luminous instead of the traditional black. So if I drop the gold weapon, it should be the same sort of thing. So there we go. So yeah, definitely a lot better looking. So that's what you can come to expect. So it's just a lot more visual fidelity in there. So if I want to just go back and play another game now, so I can actually join parties, hold the PlayStation button down. Astro's Playroom, so this actually comes on the console straight away. So I hope to do a bit more of a bit of a look-see into this. Did put up the other day, but it was just to show a friend, so I have actually removed that video. I'll be putting up something that's a little more standard. So this really does show off the DualSense controller that comes with the system now, which is just magnificent at the end of the day. So the haptic feedback, the vibrations you get out of the controller is just absolutely wonderful. So you might hear the control in the background, but perhaps, I'm not really here to showcase that too much today. But for things, for example, as I'm walking along, every step he takes, I feel a slight tap to the left or right, depending on which foot he's on. And it just gets a little more heavier as I run around. So texture models are a lot cleaner as well. So for example, you've got this grey wall up ahead, and when you actually get close enough, and I'll change the camera angle to a little more sharper angle, there we go. So like you see, it's not just a grey wall, but it's actually consisting of the PlayStation symbols, the triangle, square, cross and circle. And if I want to jump areas for that there, very, very quick. So I might go into the labo. And here's the load screen going now, basically. And I'm straight in. So very, very quick. So that's just to give a little bit of an indication of how the buttons feel and work. So in this frog suit, for example, to actually operate it, you hold the LR2 button down, and it's a resistance as I pull down, and I actually feel like the spring sort of creaking as it folds. And as I turn left and right, I'll actually feel the movement from the haptic feedback on both sides as well. So small steps, a little bit of resistance. So I'll try and show another video sometime of the gameplay on this, but I don't know how we'll go here, but I'll give you an example. That's tapping the button, not much happening. So I'm actually getting a lot of resistance there. To give you an example, I'm going to bring my other controller out, which is not connected at the moment. And see, I've got no troubles at all with that. But with that, it's not nearly as coming down as far. So once again, just holding the PlayStation button down and I'm straight back into the main menu. So, but yeah, for Borderlands, for example, I was loading between screens with a friend before, and what I noticed was the difference in time was incredible. So going from one transition area to another, we actually timed it from as soon as it started loading the screen up. And for me to go to a new area took about 11 seconds, while a friend of mine who was on his PS4 playing the same game with me at the time, and he took 55 seconds to actually transition through. So I was already up and running around the map while he was still loading in. So definitely a good thing, more game time, less loading screen time, which is fantastic. So the other thing too, the other games that you have as well, you can just go into your games library, and this will show you all the games here. So you can manage your game content, delete information, that kind of thing. Sort by platform. So PS5. Also you show what's installed. So this is the installed for the system, and this is the extended storage. So quite a lot, and even that's pretty quick on the load-in. So very, very easy to use at the end of the day. So it is a little different to what you might be used to with the PlayStation 4, but it was the same thing as we had when we went from PlayStation 3 as well, and previous consoles or other systems altogether. But once you get used to it, it's actually quite good. It's a very clean, tidy system. So other things on the controller as well. If we look in some of the other settings, so we'll go into that now. So your settings. So from here you can change all your things like your broadcast, your audios, and how they all work as well. So for example, if you want to include people in your chats, trophy information. Another interesting thing now too is it'll actually set up where you can actually take either videos or just plain screenshots and how long they go for. So you can share that as well if you want with your friends. Same for your notifications, change them as you want. So also your data automatically transfers up and back and uploads and downloads for you. So it automatically syncs it as soon as you log in, and depending on how your settings are while you're in rest mode. Also you can set your game presets as well. So for me, I'm more of just a casual person. I just enjoy more the story as opposed to worrying about how hard it's going to be to actually get through. Same for your video modes, so you can have it set to performance or resolution. So if you want it to be a smooth 60 frames a second on the newest games, you can do that. Or you can go to resolution mode, and where it might not be 60 frames per second, but you get it 4K. So for example, the TV I'm running here is an OLED, and so for me, I really want to get the best out of the visuals on this. First person, so for that there you can actually change your movements and how you want the game to act. So for flight controls, if you want them to be, I should show up a video here on this. So normal, so pushing up on stick, or inverted, it should be to look up, should be the other way around. So yeah, it's looking down now. So flight games, for example, that could be very handy. So spoiler warnings as well. So for that there, if there's some games that supports videos, for example, you put that on your left-hand tab, for example, to try and find trophies. If you've seen the PlayStation broadcast, you can get an idea of how that works with the new Sackboy game. So change your accessory details, nice and straightforward. Sound, video, storage. So for that there, games and media and everything else. So all your PS5 content will store onto the main console. PS4 you can just store it onto an extended storage instead. So for me, when I transferred everything over, I had pretty much everything on the PS4 on my hard drive. I just disconnected the hard drive, turned the system off, plugged it straight in after I done the initial setup, and it just registered everything straight away. So very, very easy. So system, pretty much stock standard. Parental controls for those that have wee ones in their family that may need to protect for restrictions or times or passwords entering for purchases, for example. Set up your users, privacy, that kind of thing. So yeah, there you go. But very easy to use at the end of the day, and yeah, definitely recommend it when you get the chance if you haven't already got one. But other things too on the controller, so I've got my set up to, because it does come with a built-in microphone. I'll see if we can go on the sound audio on this. I think it'll be. Microphone. So microphone status when logged in goes to mute. So on the controller, you'll have the mute button there. Sorry about the dark screen at the moment, or the darkness in the room. But also if you press and hold the button down, it'll go to a slow flashing blink, and that'll actually just mute the TV as well as the sound. So that can be very handy. So if you get a phone call, for example, you can continue going on your game while having the sound actually muted on the TV. So very, very handy feature. It's actually one of the things I like most so far. So, but anyway, I might leave that there for today. But if there's any further content on the PlayStation 5 you want to see or know about, feel free to leave a message in the comment section. And I'll get back to you on that. And yeah, please, if you did enjoy this, press the like and the share button, the like and share and subscribe buttons. Every like is certainly a help, and always very much appreciated. So, and yeah, hopefully I've earned your subscription today. But anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you have a good day. And this is Darks from Ducks Underground saying bye for now.